It's official. The tariffs on Canada and Mexico are set. Without any delay, Canada has announced its official retaliation. That's awesome. I'm ready for this. Now, what does this mean? How does this matter to you and I? On the US Update channel, we break down the major economical news for you, showing you our hedge fund level of research insights. We present data and professional information in the most beginner-friendly way. I'm your host, Cody Yeh, impersonator of Donald Trump. Today, we'll be covering the following. Here's quick 1-minute news reporting on what happened. On Monday, March the 3rd, the people of the United States, Canada, and Mexico were on their last minute hoping that Trump could adjust his tariff policies. You know, maybe it was just a threat. Maybe he was just trying to send a message to his allies. But unfortunately, no. The tariffs took effect on March 4th, 2025, midnight. The U.S. stock market once again dropped on Monday afternoon when Trump announced to go forward with tariffs with Canada, Mexico, and China. The stock market tumbled when Trump said there was no room left to negotiate with the two U.S. allies. On March 5th, the government of Canada announced their retaliation, imposing levies against 30 billion in American products, including cosmetics, tires, fruits, and wine. So enough news. What's important is how this tariff war will affect us. What are the implications to the economical forecast? What's going to happen now between the US and Canada? Let's first dissect what tariff is about. What exactly did Trump impose? The Trump administration imposed 25% tariff on all Canadian and Mexico imports to US on Tuesday, with the exception of energy products such as oil, natural gas, which has a 10% rate. Trudeau's government responds with levies against 30 billion in American products, while Canada's counter tariffs will expand to an additional 125 billion in items from US exporters later in March. The second phase includes a huge array of categories, including US-made cars and trucks, aluminum, and a long list of food and agricultural products. Economists and officials recognize that tariffs are counterproductive to the growth of all these countries and are negotiable with Trump. So what's Canada's tariff negotiation result with Trump? Of course, these gentlemen sat down, talked to each other, but let's see how did it go on Wednesday. Canadian Energy Minister Jonathan Wilkinson said Trump's action has permanently damaged the relationship between the two countries, who has a long history of partner relationship. After Trump and Trudeau's meeting, as expected, our social media superstar Donald Trump posts on Truth Social. For anyone who's interested, I already told Government Justin Trudeau of Canada that he largely caused the problem we have with them because of his weak border policy, which allowed tremendous amount of fentanyl and illegal aliens to pour into the United States. These policies are responsible for the death of many people. Many people has died from fentanyl that came through the border of Canada and Mexico, and nothing has convinced me that it has stopped. Okay, the call ended in a somewhat friendly manner. He was unable to tell me when the Canadian election is taking place, which make me curious, like, what's going on here? I didn't realize he's trying to use this issue to stay in power. Good luck, Justin. Honestly, pretty good post. I would tap the like button for all the good grammar, no typos at all. Seriously, just kidding. I'm not even on True Social, but you can also give us a free like on this video to help us grow and continue to make updates for you. Your simple gesture of liking this video and maybe leaving a feedback in the comment section will make my day. And what this news is that Trump has painted his own reality and used it as an excuse to raise tariffs in hopes to stop the drug and illegal immigration. But Trudeau has rejected the premise, pointing to U.S. border agency statistic that shows very little amount of drugs are found by agents at or near the Canadian or U.S. border. Trudeau called Trump's trade war dumb and said Canada was being forced to push back. He framed Trump's ultimate tariffs goal as a total collapse of the Canadian economy because that would make it easier to annex us. This excuse he's giving for these tariffs today of fentanyl is completely bogus, completely completely unjustified, completely false. Trudeau said Trump's tariff will lead to significant pain for the president's own residents. He's rapidly going to find out, and American families are going to find out that that's going to hurt people on both sides of the board. Americans will lose jobs. Americans will be paying more for groceries and for gas, for cars, for homes. But it wasn't all bad stuff. The gentleman did make progress in certain areas. For the automakers, in layman's term, the car industry, Trump will give top automakers a 1-month exception from his 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. The new tariffs will be temporary lift on any autos coming through. The trilateral trade deal with the US, Canada, and Mexico, known as the USMCA. Everybody's hoping that the tariffs that has been implemented are just a negotiation tactic. But the longer they go on, the more they are going to pressure the overall economy and raise prices. In terms of the impact of tariff wars, how's the tariff war going to affect the global economy? Let's understand tariff from the historical example. I personally learn better if I were given analogies and real life example, rather than reading a textbook definition. So let's rewind to 2018 when Trump was on his first term of presidency. The US imposed tariff on washing machine, which increased government's revenue but also raised consumer prices and lead to retaliatory tariffs from other countries. I want to touch on an important concept called the prisoner's dilemma in trade. If countries cooperate, have an open trade, they benefit mutually. If one country imposes tariff while the other remains open, the tariff imposing country gains an advantage. If both impose tariffs, both suffers. This is a classic prisoner's dilemma. To counteract this, countries engage in long-term trade agreements like WTO, NAFTA, USMCA to prevent destructive tariff wars. So what will happen if tariffs are prolonged for 6 to 12 months? It will affect the livelihood of all US, Canadian, and Mexican residents, especially for the daily essentials. Will also affect where people will take vacations and the number of people. The last time there was a dip was during COVID-19 and the credit crisis in 2008 to 2009. Historically, when the U.S. trade policy has the highest uncertainty was during 2018, when Trump was in power. But today, this fear into new heights. Winston Churchill said, never let a good crisis go to waste. So here are some actionable tips from me. If you have a portfolio investment in US stock market, just like me, I would consider buying the dip on your favorite stocks. Because in the long run, this could be a good opportunity to load up. And also, I will pay attention to sectors like defensive companies that fits in these categories within the non-discretionary sectors such as healthcare, utility, and consumer staples for potential addition to my portfolio in 2025. These sectors continue to outperform even in the period of low economical growth, uncertainty, and volatility as demand for these services are likely to grow. Prices of consumer goods and our everyday products are likely to increase again. So make sure that you stay invested and learn a few passive income strategy to stay ahead of the inflation. If you're keen, feel free to watch this video from my personal investing channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a few days.